Well, good morning, gang. How's it going? Hope everyone's alright. Back from sunny Menorca to quite sunny England. It's been chucking it down with rain since we got back, but clouds have finally cleared and it is a beautiful day. So let's get a little run in. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about avoiding burnout as a runner, and it's something that I think that I'm pretty good at staying on top of, noticing the signs and symptoms that I'm about to burn out. But it's something that we'll have to keep practicing, because I've just arrived back off my holiday, even though it was a lovely week of rest. Still feel a little bit fatigued out on a couple of runs, and made the mistake, I think that a lot of us do, of thinking that I didn't have enough miles in the legs for the upcoming race that I'm doing. So I was pushing on and went for a 10-mile run on Sunday gone, when really I probably should have rested, and I dug myself into a big hole, and as a result I've been loaded with cold and my body's just not recovering. So my muscles are still sore, and generally my fitness has took a hit where it really should have been taking a little bit of an up. So this week, even though I'm about 3 weeks out from my race, I'm taking it easy. I've had a couple of days off, and I'm just going to share with you some of the other tips and things that I'll be doing this week to make sure that I get back on track. And I've just swallowed a lovely big fly. So tip number one is to prioritise sleep and rest. So all of these runs are just a little bit easier than I would like them to be. Just taking a little bit of a walking break on hills, just slowing it down a little bit, even more so than I normally would, and getting your feet up a bit more. So lifting your legs up, getting them elevated, resting in the house, spend some time chilling out. When it comes to sleep, I'm making sure that I get at least 9 hours in bed every night. So that's not to say that I'm asleep for 9 hours, but I allow my body that time to rest and recover. So the second thing that I'm doing is I'm avoiding and reducing any substances that impact on my mood. So most of you already know I've stopped drinking for this year, and I'm about 5 months in so far, and that has had a dramatic impact on my training. I've been fatigued much less often, and it's also impacted on everything else as well when it comes to training. But on the flip side of that, I don't just mean alcohol. I'm trying to keep my caffeine levels down, because I will grab 2, 3, 4 cups of coffee during the day, and obviously that impacts your sleep, impacts your training, and so I'm just trying to be much more sensible about the amount of coffee that I drink as well. The third thing that I'm doing is I'm balancing my eating. Now, what I mean by balancing my eating is I'm avoiding foods that could be overly emotional, like big greasy pizzas, kebabs, all that but also avoiding a lot of processed foods. So trying to take it back to what you find in the first couple of aisles of a supermarket, rather than everything that's got a really long shelf life. So I'm okay with that, really. I normally eat pretty well. I enjoy the odd pizza and turkey dinosaur as much as the next man, but over the next couple of weeks, to try and build myself back up after this cold and after a bit of fatigue, it's just to really concentrate on getting some good nutrients in. Nothing ridiculous, like you say, no ketogenic diets or any of that lot. Mr. Andrew Rose, you know it. Just trying to balance eating. Fourth thing that I'm doing is I'm listening to the body. So I have a plan in mind that I'd like to execute coming up with the Durham Dales 50k, but also I need to wake up on a morning and really listen to the body. Are the legs recovering? Am I putting good energy into them, or am I just taking out of them and actually leaving myself in a deficit? And it's really important to just kind of take on a few metrics with that. You know, general fatigue in your legs is a good one. Also, I follow my heart rate pretty consistently, and normally if that's spiking up, it's normally an indicator that I'm a bit overworked, a bit fatigued, and I need to just take it a little bit easier. So I will be listening to the body for the next 3 weeks leading up the Durham Dales 50k. Of course I won't be taking that advice on race day. I'll be going out far too fast, and yeah, it doesn't really matter on race day, does it? But leading up to it, I've got a plan in mind of how many miles, how many training sessions, but that's very much just got to be adapted on how the body feels. So yeah. And the final tip for the day is how to make sure that you do it all. So for me, with this plan of looking after sleep, looking after diet, resting, all these sorts of things, it's really important to have a level of accountability. So I'm getting that level of accountability, one, by telling you that I'm doing it. If you tell somebody else that you're doing something, it makes it a little bit more likely that you'll do it. And also I keep it written down. So I keep a daily record in my journal about what I've done that puts us in the direction towards the goals that I'm after. So having clear goals about what does good diet look like, what does good sleep look like, what does listening to the body look like, what does the amount of exercise look like, all these things, have them written down and go through them in your mind. The other thing that I do within writing it down is I plan out how I'm going to do it. So some of the biggest hurdles we come up against in achieving goals is that we can't see the path to them. So it's very important that if you can't see yourself, for example, sleeping well, that you really write down the plan and overcome the hurdles on the way. So yeah, write it down, make yourself accountable, tell people. If you want, put down in the comments what it is that you want held accountable for in your training over the next couple of weeks, and we'll do our best to hold each other to account for it. If you found this helpful, then I would love it if you would share it. I think we're up to about 68 followers or something at the minute, which might have something to do with the recent video we put out where Kelsey's feet were on it. I got 7,500 views on my wife's feet. Not sure how I feel about that. A little bit exploited. Kind of want to set up our own OnlyFans. But yeah, anyway, if you found it useful, then give it a share. Just stick a couple of comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Or I'll see you at the Durham Dales 50k if you're there. Oh, and see anyone who's at the Bladen race this coming week. That should be a laugh. Might have to reel it back in a little bit for the Bladen race if we're still feeling like this. Hey ho. Right, see you all later. Bye.